I'm Bob.
Nice to meet you, Bob.
Hell yeah.
How long have you had it?
I bought this thing when I was 14.
Okay.
I'm 22 now, so I've had it 7 years.
Okay.
Originally, it was a naturally aspirated automatic car. I got it from the nephew of the guy who swapped this to a turbo 4-speed.
Okay.
But he never got it to run right, and he broke the ring gear, so he couldn't start it.
Okay.
And then the first thing I had to do was pull the engine out and do a clutch to it. You're supposed to have a return line on the turbos with the factory car. He didn't have that, ran like garbage. I did a bunch of work playing around. I put a fuel pressure regulator in it. Got it running good, drove it for a little while. I had 61,000 on it when I bought it. And I put maybe 7,000 miles on it over 3 years or so. Kind of got bored of it and parked it. About a year and a half ago, I was like, I gotta drag this thing out, or I'm never going to do anything with it. So I pulled the motor apart, rebuilt it. It's got forged pistons, all sorts of fancy stuff. Then I drove it for a little while with the stock carb setup, but it never really ran that great. But I read a couple articles online from a few people back in the day who built NA Corvair carbs to run as blow-through. I kind of followed their write-ups and had these carbs put together by a place called Wolf Industries. Relocate the jets as well to help with fuel starving on corners. I got a Holley boost-sensitive fuel pressure regulator, a bypass style, so it has a return line now. Got a brand new fuel tank. I have a BMW E30 Bosch inline fuel pump. Threw it all together and it runs pretty good. The ignition system was kind of always been giving me problems, like, you know, I'd want to blow out the spark at higher boost levels and stuff. And with the points and condenser setup, you don't get that much to play with. It just doesn't. It's only so good.
Less or more timing.
Yeah. I have a GM 4-pin ignition module with an HEI coil. I bought an aftermarket distributor and put in it, and it worked okay for about 50 miles. And then it just gave me all sorts of problems. So I scrapped that idea, and I got a Mopar Slant 6 reluctor wheel and distributor pickup, and I machined the inside of the reluctor wheel to press down on top of the camshaft in the distributor that runs the points and condenser.
Yeah.
And then I mounted the Mopar pickup in there, and that actually runs the GM module awesome. Like,
wow.
I put that together, and it's got the factory boost retard canister instead of vacuum advance. That works great, and I got it running like 2 days ago and drove it here. And in 8 years of owning it, or 7 years of owning it, this is farther than it's ever gone. And it didn't skip a beat. The thing's great. I got a tile wastegate, knockoff blow-off valve, nothing too fancy, and it works really well. I mean, the car's obviously a work in progress. I got BMW E39 style 5s, 17 by 9.
I love the patina though.
Yeah.
It has such a good look. So I love Corvairs. I've looked at getting one a couple of times and been close, but never did. But one of my issues with them is that if you buy a nice one, you don't want to like wreck it because you're just like, if I do anything to make it like not pristine, I like it, but like, you know, the people who normally are into Corvairs, I just basically eliminated 99% of them, and I'll never ever be able to sell it or anything like that, right? Like, and they'll be like, you ruined it. I don't know. They're kind of lackluster. Like, it's just like they have such, they don't look right? They're just not good. Seeing one like this, it's like it has all the character. Like, it doesn't matter kind of deal. Like, you're just like, it's okay. He didn't ruin it. He's saving it. Like, it's like anything he does is better than nothing. Like, you give that man an award. So.
But no, this thing, when I bought it, it was rotted out to the point where most people would scrap it.
Yeah.
And it had been rear-ended.
Oh, wow.
And I actually learned to weld putting floor pans in this. I fixed frame rails under the floors, were kind of punky. And then a buddy of mine, Mike Brim, he used to work at GM, and he's built a couple like really cool hot rods. He actually stopped me in a Myers parking lot because I had another Corvair at the time, and he's like, hey, I'd love to take a look at this if it's for sale. And he came to my house to look at it, and he saw this thing, and he's like, oh, you need a quarter panel done on that. And I was like, yeah, I have a quarter. And he's like, hey, here's my number. Like, just come over to my house and we'll knock this out. We actually replaced this quarter. I never completely finished it. You can see those.
Oh, okay, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, like you said, like the thing is a bastard child as it is.
It's
been swapped, and anything's better than nothing. And I kind of agree with you. And like, I've seen them completely restored and pristine. They're kind of
Yeah, it leaves something. It's a great shape, but it's like, it's so 60s.
Yeah.
That it's like, I mean, it's cool for its era, but like at the same time, you're just like, it's not something I want to own.
There's kind of a blend. That was the thing. I was a little kid actually, and my parents have old cars. And I'd gone to car shows and I'd never seen one. And on the way to my daycare, when I was like 4 years or so, there was an early model Corvair sitting on the side of the road for sale. And I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. What is that?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it started. I feel like so many people look over these cars, and they're
cool. Yeah,
fully independent suspension.
Yeah, from a driver point of view, it's from this era, it's like one of the best cars you can buy.
Yeah,
it's small and light.
It's got 4-wheel drum brakes that are manual, but they're the drum brakes off of the full-size Chevys.
Right.
So it stops the car on a dime. Huge brakes, lightweight, independent suspension, and I mean, the power's kind of meh.
Yeah, so naturally aspirated, these are like 100-ish?
The late models are 95 to 140 horse, depending on your options.
Right.
The 140 horse had 4 downdraft carburetors, which is pretty wild. Like,
4 cars is
cars,
wild.
like-
That's insane.
And then they had the 180 horse turbo.
Yeah, the turbo. One of the ones I was looking at was a turbo.
Yeah.
But again, it's like it's not like you just like, sweet, I got a turbo, good to go. Like it's like no, you have the turbo. Like that's a maintenance.
Yeah.
You just be careful.
Yeah. You see all those gauges where my radio goes?
Right.
Those you gotta have if you
Right.
want to actually drive it and like be spirited about it. Like otherwise, you can overheat them like that on a hot day.
It's so cool, man.
I'm really happy with the response I've gotten bringing this thing here, because I was kind of like, oh man, these people are gonna be like, oh, what's this old American thing doing?
Right.
No, everyone seems to have gotten a kick out of it. Which is another thing that's surprising, because I drive this to a classic car show. All the old timers walk right by and kind of like, why is this here? It needs paint.
Right.
And then I bring it somewhere here and everyone's like, dude, that is a turbo. Like,
So how much power are you making, you think?
I got the wastegate set at 10 pounds.
Okay.
You really got to work it to get to 10 pounds. The turbo's way too big for this engine.
Okay.
I'll bet you it's $150 at the wheels. It's not fast. My E30 runs circles around it, but this thing has the charm and the noises. Like, it's fun, and it grips in the turns.
There's a lot of meat under the tires, and you're 2,400 pounds. So like, to put that in perspective, like a modern, like an NA Miata is like 2,350.
Yeah.
So like, it's the same weight as a Miata, even though it's slightly longer.
It always surprises me because the steering is less than precise.
Right.
You don't get a ton of feedback, and you can go like this and keep going straight.
Right.
And I've done everything I can to tighten it up. But like, so you come into a turn hard, and you just keep cranking the wheel, and it just right around the bends. Like, it'll pin you against the door. Like, that's half the reason I got these seats, because I'd slide off the vinyl seats in the turn. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like my E30, I can drive it hard, and the E30 probably does handle better.
Right.
But this one surprises you when you're like, I'm not sliding around right now. Like,
this could handle better with more. The potential's there, because the weight isn't.
Yeah.
This is the thing. When you don't have the weight, like, you can make it happen.
That's next on my list is suspension.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of looking into getting a custom width steering rack, so I can convert it to rack and pinion. I have a friend of mine who's an older guy, and he has a factory Yenko Stinger.
Yeah.
Which is a factory race car, like their cage got it the whole bit. He's running Ford Pinto springs, and they're stiffer than hell. So that might be where I go with it. I'm not really sure yet. Like I say, I got it running 2 days ago. So
yeah, you're already winning. Like you already like this is it. Doesn't need to be better. I think if I ever get one, I'll probably buy like something as clean as it can from a rust point of view, but mechanically probably just shot and like I don't know, like a boxer engine, like Subaru boxer engine in the back or 911 motor. That would be too much money.
I've looked at all the stuff people have done. I thought about it, I was like, it's got an air-cooled turbo flat 6. It doesn't get cooler.
That's
if I popped the hood and it had like a Honda B-Series, people would be like, that's wild, and walk on by, but they're like, wait, no one knows what it is.
No.
Dude, when I first walked up here, I thought it was a rear-mounted turbo.
When I looked in here, I saw the turbo piping, and I was like, cool, okay, it's turboed. Yeah. And then I was like, wait a minute, where's the motor? Like,
some kid asked me, he's like, is this the motor to drive the cooling fan? I was like, no, that's the alternator. The crankshaft's down there.
Right.
He's like, wait, the motor's right here? I was like, yeah.
You don't have the engine in the front?
No.
The back?
The engine in the back.
That's it right there.
Dude, that's so small.
I've even had people ask me how much work it was to put the motor in the back. They're like, so you just have nothing up front? I'm like, no, I didn't put it there. Chevy did.
Right, like I was like, oh, he changed the location of the motor and then he just has piping running, like his cooling's all in the back. And then I was like, wait, no, there's like, there it is. It's down there.
Yep.
And it has the craziest cover.
The top of the engine is right where this bolts on.
Yeah.
That's the highest point. The whole thing's pretty much hanging
Yeah,
underneath.
no, it's insane. You're right, from like a coolness and a unique factor, like keeping the motor is, it's just like.
It's like if I want a fast car, I have the S50 swap D30.
Right.
This thing it's all about the character.
Yeah.
It's a factory air-cooled flat 6.
Flat 6?
It even got the factory turbo.
That's a factory turbo.
Yep, 1965.
What's the fuel economy?
I haven't gotten fuel economy yet since I did this setup. The old one, I got maybe 15 miles a gallon with a draw-through.
Okay.
But I have a 64 Corvair convertible with a 95 horse engine. And I got
Of course
like
you do.
30, yeah. It slammed on its ass. Like, I should have drove that here, but this thing's way more nuts. But no, in that I got about 33 on the highway.
Yeah.
I got about 27 around town.
Yeah, they're pretty good. So amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know you can get Octane Monkey gear at octanemonkey.com? That's right, we got shirts, hats, stickers, even car parts. If you like this video, hit that like button. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button.